welcome back to the latest SES Newscast. I'm the incredible Miss Spartan Spirit. Well, it sure is good to see all of you Spartans again. I don't know if you realize it, but us Incredibles use a lot of cooperation, which happens to be your character strong trait of the month, which we'll be learning about more in this newscast. But first, we're going to turn to Spartan Stanley and see where he's hiding this time.
Where in the school is little Stanley Spartan? Can you guess where I am this time?
Oh, little Stanley Spartan, I think I'm going to send out my team of Incredibles to find out where you were hiding. Or we could just wait until the end of the newscast. All right, my friends, it's time to turn to our SES tour to see what's the latest in the lunchroom.
Looks good. Is it good? What's for lunch, Jude?
An Uncrustable.
What do you have for lunch?
Ham and mustard sandwich.
Stuff in there?
White bread and peanut butter sandwich. Ham and mustard and mayo sandwich.
Your mouth's full, so I won't make you talk.
Why didn't you say? I did. The velvet bucket, Sally. I know. He's gone. Velvet, come home. I think it's this time of year. Let's make this house fun.
Boy, those look like some delicious sandwiches and goodies in your lunch bags. I think I'm getting a little hungry myself. All right, it is time to turn to our principal, Mrs. Lowinger, for the latest.
Boys and girls, I want to remind you that we have a very fun paint-along virtual assembly this Wednesday at 2 p.m. You may use the code SES Assembly and log into our Assembly Google Meet. All of the paint-along assembly kits are being sent home. They were already sent home with Cohort B this last Thursday and Friday. They will be sent home with Cohort A on Monday and Tuesday. Our distance learners may also pick up their assembly kits on Monday and Tuesday. We have them available for you in the office. The kits include a paint strip and a painter's canvas, and the details about how to find us on a Google Meet. There are no paintbrushes in this kit, and that is your clue as to what kind of painting we'll be doing on Wednesday. We hope to see you there.
Thanks so much, Mrs. Lowinger. It's always great hearing from you. Next up in our counseling corner, Miss Redding is going to be talking about cooperation.
Hi, Spartan friends. Miss Redding here again. And I want to talk with you one more time about cooperation. If you remember cooperation from our Character Strong lessons, it is helping each other and working together. So reminds me when I think of cooperation, I think of how me and my siblings used to cooperate as kids. And I remember one time where I think everyone was a little cranky and no one wanted to play with me. So I went out in the backyard and started building a fort. But when they found out what I was doing, they all came and started helping me out. And we ended up having this fort that probably lasted, we probably used it for at least 5 years in my backyard. We would have sleepovers in it and play all kinds of games in it. Well, that was just one happy memory I have of when my siblings and I cooperated together. We didn't always get along, but when we got along and worked together, we tended to have a lot more fun. So today I want to share a story with you that was suggested to me. It is called The Little Red Fort by Brenda Mayer, and it is a story of cooperation. I hope you enjoy it and that you have some fun fort building experiences of your own. Take care. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
That's right, Miss Redding. Next up for our teacher feature, we're going to be hearing the story, The Little Red Fort. I hope you guys enjoy. This is a story about cooperation titled The Little Red Fort. This is Ruby, and her mind was always full of ideas. One day, she found some old boards. "Who wants to help me build something?" she asked her brothers. Oscar Lee pretended not to hear her. Rodrigo gave her a look that could melt popsicles, and Jose almost fell off the fence. "You don't know how to build anything," they said. Ruby shrugged and said, "Well, then I'll learn." And she did. "Who wants to help me draw the plans?" Ruby asked. The boys just clutched their sides and howled with laughter. "Not me," said Oscar Lee. "I don't think so," said Rodrigo. "No way," said Jose. "I'm too busy." "Fine," said Ruby. "I'll draw them myself." And she did. Satisfied with her plans, Ruby asked, "Who wants to help me gather the supplies?" "Not me," said Oscar Lee. "I don't think so," said Rodrigo. "No way," said Jose. "I'm too busy." "Fine," said Ruby. "I'll gather them myself." And she did. When all the supplies were gathered, Ruby asked, "Who wants to help me cut the boards?" "Not me," said Oscar Lee. "I don't think so," said Rodrigo. "No way," said Jose. "I'm too busy." "Fine," said Ruby. "I'll cut them myself." And she did. When all of the boards were neatly cut, Ruby sang out, "Who wants to help me hammer in the nails?" "Not me," said Oscar Lee. "I don't think so," said Rodrigo. "No way," said Jose. "I'm too busy." "Fine," said Ruby. "I'll hammer them myself." And she did. Soon, Ruby's creation was complete. "Who wants to play in my fort?" she called. "Ooh, ooh, me," said Oscar Lee. "Let's go," said Rodrigo. "I'll play," said Jose. "I'm not busy anymore." "Not so fast," Ruby said. "You didn't help me draw the plans or gather the supplies or cut the boards or hammer those nails. You said I didn't know how to build and you laughed at me. So I'm going to play in my fort by myself." And that's just what Ruby did. "Harumph, but we didn't want to play anyway," said the boys. But they did. So they huddled and whispered and got to work. Oscar Lee made a mailbox. Rodrigo planted flowers. and Jose painted the fort fire engine red. Ruby was delighted. So that evening, the boys followed a delicious aroma to a fort warming party. Ruby asked, "Who wants to help me clean this plate?" We do, the boys said. And they did. And this is the happy ending of our story, where Ruby's very unhelpful brothers finally showed a little cooperation. I hope you enjoyed our story about Ruby and her determination to build her little red fort. What a fun story. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Next up for our student feature, we have some unicorns over in kindergarten. Wow, it sure looked like you guys were having fun. All right, it is time for Joke of the Week.
Where do fish sleep? On a waterbed.
All right, my friends, it's time to wrap up our newscast and see where little Spartan Stanley is hiding this week. All right, my friends, that's it for this week. Until next time, I'm Miss Incredible Spartan Spirit.